What's going on YouTube? JV here, and today I have some more Cleveland Browns talk for you. I hope you guys just enjoyed that video there of Baker sliding in during the Higgins red carpet walk. I thought it was pretty smooth. One of my subscribers over on twitch.tv, I was playing Madden today, and he came in with that, with that sliding video, and I just thought I definitely had to show it to you guys, so I hope you enjoyed it. But in today's video, we're going to talk about, can this Cleveland Browns team beat the Baltimore Ravens next Monday night? Man, it is a huge game. I'm super excited. So we're going to dive into what could we expect, what should we expect, and what my predictions are and what I really see for the big matchup on Monday night at home. So yeah, let's get into it. Now, first, I want to start off by saying that I know the Browns got absolutely manhandled in week 1 against Baltimore, but I think it is fair to say that both of these teams are a lot different since then, right? You have the Browns, who have pretty much gotten better each week. You can see that the coaching staff and the offensive game plan, the scheme, has really just evolutioned throughout each week, and it's been fun to watch, right? The running game's been dominant each week. It seems like the passing game and the bootleg and the shots downfield are getting better and better. Again, in my video yesterday that I posted, that first half of football against Tennessee was the best bit of football I have ever seen as a Cleveland Browns fan. Whether it was a half or what, that half was insane. That was the highest level of football you can play offensively. Baker should have had 5 touchdowns, right? Because of the Peoples-Jones drop on the 3 where he could have just literally crawled in like a turtle, but he dropped the ball. I mean, absolutely stunning performance, and it just shows how far coaching has gone for this team. Last year was what we were supposed, you know what I mean? Like, last year was supposed to be this, right? What we're seeing now was supposed to happen last year. I don't know why that was so hard to say. Jesus. Anyways, and coaching has just taken over, and you can tell, and Baker talks about it all the time. He's just more comfortable. So just the Browns as a whole are a just complete 180 turn from that team we saw in week 1, both offensively and defensively. And then on the opposite side, you have the Ravens, who a lot of people expected to make a Super Bowl run this year, right? And if the Browns beat them next Monday, they very well might be out of the playoff hunt, or they'll definitely be praying for a playoff spot at that point. I just think the two different teams have kind of gone in opposite directions. Lamar Jackson's been dealing with some issues. He's not really throwing the ball well. That running game's not what they want it to be. I mean, they're still second in the league in running, but we're talking about a Baltimore Ravens team that was first by a insane margin last year. So they're not getting as much as they want out of either the run game or the pass game. They're underwhelming a little bit, but on the opposite side, their defense has played terrific, and they have all year. So we're going to go over some stats, some per game stats, and we're going to talk about what the Ravens do best, what the Browns do best, and how I think it suits well for the game. But I just wanted to start off by saying, like, yes, I get it. The Browns were creamed in week 1, right? But every single week, it just seems like you're seeing more and more as far as improvement. The scheme goes, coaching, Baker Mayfield. It's getting better and better, and I don't see it stopping. I just see it continuing to get better and better. That doesn't mean we have to win the Super Bowl this year. That doesn't mean we have to play a playoff game. It doesn't mean we have to win a playoff game. But to me, all I wanted to see this season was something to get established, form an identity, and just keep getting better and better and better until our window opens to win a Super Bowl. I'd like it to be during Baker's, rookie 5-year contract, but it's not always that easy, especially as Browns fans. But yeah, let's get into the stats and analytical things that I want to talk about. All right, guys, so let's look at yards per game, right? We're going to start on offense. We're going to look at total yards per game, and you got the Browns right in the middle of football. That almost looks like exactly right in the middle. And then you got the Ravens down here. They are the 9th worst team offensively at 332 yards. So a pretty significant gap there, 30 yards per game. I know that doesn't seem like a lot, but when you're talking about yards per game, it's kind of a big difference. So if you look up here, 30 yards is the difference between, team number 2 and the Browns. So 30 yards is pretty significant. So yeah, offensively, the Browns have just played better. Let's look at yards per game in the air. I think the Browns should be way above them here. The Browns are going to be 206 yards in the air, and the Baltimore Ravens at 174.9 yards in the air. I do want to add that this 206 to me is a little bit misleading, because you had those 3 games in a row where the weather was just horrific. You had the wind, the rain, the sleet, all that stuff that really hurt this passing game for 3 weeks in a row. I'm not saying that the Browns are going to be a top 10 team passing, but I think if the scenarios were different, or if they were playing in better weather in a better stadium, I think they would be more so right around here with, the Vikings, the Tennessee, the Raiders of the league. That's just what I believe. And then rushing yards per game, we have the Cleveland Browns at number 1 and the Baltimore Ravens at number 2. But like I said, especially with them having Lamar Jackson, they fully expect to be number 1, and definitely by a large margin. So even though they're second in football, I do believe that they're not okay with that over there in Baltimore. Like I said, their running game is phenomenal. They have, Ingram, they got JK, they got Gus Edwards and a couple other guys. I know they've been dealing with injuries and stuff, but their primary focus on offense is definitely running the ball, both with those backs and Lamar. So I know they're definitely not happy with 157 yards per game. And the Browns being in first place is awesome to me, especially with Nick Chubb missing out on 4 weeks. Browns can just really run the ball. I love that it's a part of their identity because it does help Baker Mayfield open up options in the passing game. It leads to one-on-one coverages. It leads to open guys because of the bootleg and everything else. I do think that this is the Browns' identity. We're running the football. The Ravens might be a slightly better running team with us, especially when healthy, but we're no slouch, right? We can run with the top teams in the league, and I do think that's important, especially in this division. And then we got points per game. We'll look at that also. That's going to be the last one we look at on offense. So points per game on offense, we're at 25.5, and the Ravens are at 25.6. So pretty much neck and neck there. But yeah, let's check out the defensive side of the ball, and then we'll talk about it. All right, so let's look at these defensive stats. First, we're going to look at yards per game. The Browns are giving up 361 yards per game. I actually thought that would have been worse. I'm actually pretty proud of that number. I thought the Browns would definitely be in the bottom 10 of football. So they're sitting at what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So they're the 14th, worst offense or worst defense in the league, I guess you could say. I thought it would be worse than that. I'm actually pretty proud of that number. I can live with that number, especially with how we've been banged up. We've missed Miles there. We've missed Denzel Ward. You lost Delpit. We have Sendejo, who's god awful. I would have thought it would have been worse than that. So this is my first time looking at it. So I'm actually okay with that. And then you got the Ravens. They are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They are the 8th best team defensively. And that's about what I expected. I actually thought that would be a little bit better, but I know they've also been banged up as well. So the Browns are right in the middle of the pack as far as defensive yard per game, and Baltimore's in the top 10, and rightfully so, man. They got some guys on that defense that are scary. Let's look at yards in the air. So the Browns are in the bottom 10, it looks like, close to the bottom 10 as far as most yards given up in the air. And then you have the Ravens right around the bottom 10. So definitely two opposite sides. They're not too far off, but Baltimore definitely has the advantage as far as pass defense goes, especially through the air, and they should. Their cornerbacks are terrific. Marlon Humphrey is an animal. They also got Peters. I mean, they're stacked back there defensively. It's just always been Baltimore, right? They run the ball and they can play some damn defense, so nothing shocking there. Let's look at the rushing yards per game. Rushing yards given up. The Browns are, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th in football. That's a lot better than I thought they would be. And then you got the Ravens right around the middle of the pack, it looks like. Yeah, right around that 15 spot or so, 14 spot or so. So the Browns give it up less yards on the ground, which is very surprising to me. I'm really cool with that. And then let's look at points per game. You got the Browns, bottom half of the pack, probably somewhere around 12, 13. I don't want to just sit here and count for you guys, especially since Baltimore's at 3. So the Baltimore's given up the third fewest points in football, and the Browns are definitely in that second tier, third tier as far as points given up. So yes, obviously the Cleveland Browns definitely have the advantage offensively. I think they run the ball better statistically than the Ravens, and I would take this Browns passing offense, despite what their numbers say, any day of the week over the Ravens. I actually think the Ravens' biggest weakness, and I think a lot of people would agree, is definitely their passing game, especially since Mark Andrews and those tight ends haven't been as active this year. I think that's the biggest loss for this Baltimore team. Last year, their tight ends were dynamite, and they've been quiet this year. Offensively, I'm going to give the advantage to the Browns because of being number 1 in rushing, and I just think their passing game is far and ahead better than Baltimore's. But defensively, I'm definitely going to go with Baltimore, even though the Browns are in that top half of rushing yards per game, which shocked me. Obviously, Baltimore's strength is rushing, so, you know, maybe that could play hand in hand. And then the Browns giving up a lot of yards in the secondary is kind of okay against this Ravens team, because I don't think they're really going to kill us in the secondary. So kind of interesting there, right? So the Browns have the advantage offensively, and defensively, I think the Ravens have the advantage. But if we play to the Browns' strong suit, which is defending the run, I think the Browns have the advantage. I think the Browns' run game will play better than the Ravens' pass defense, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's pretty interesting stuff, man. I did not see those defensive numbers coming. But yeah, so let's talk about it. Actually, real quick, I want to look at turnovers. Differential, the Browns are top 5 in turnover differential. That's huge. As you can see, all these teams that are up here at the top of the pack in turnover differential are pretty much playoff teams. Steelers, playoff team. Chiefs, playoff team. Titans, potential playoff team. Probably going to be a playoff team, at least a wild card, right? Colts, probably going to win a wild card, if not the division. Miami, Dolphins are pretty much one game behind from winning their division, and they're no slouch for the wild card. Saints are the best team in the NFC. Falcons are just underperforming. Packers playoff team. Tampa playoff team. The turnover differential has been huge for us, and we definitely have the advantage there over Baltimore, as Baltimore's more so in the middle of the pack, and the Browns being in top 5. So yeah, that's pretty interesting, right? Browns got the advantage offensively. The Ravens have the advantage defensively, but I do think the Browns will give them a fight up front because of how good they are against, you know, stopping the run. That I think the Browns will definitely battle with them in the trenches, and I do think the Browns are going to get theirs on the ground, just because they do every week. Stopping Nick Chubb and Hunt is a hard thing to do. The only difference in this game to me is going to be, is Lamar going to be lights out? Is he going to be dominant, or are we going to see somewhat similar of the same Lamar that we've seen the rest of the year? And to me, that's what the game comes down to. We have to make sure we cover those tight ends, and we have to make sure we don't let Lamar, you know, I'll say the word go stupid, which just means we cannot let him go nuts. We cannot let him run around the field, make plays, extend plays, you know, dink and dump. You know, we can't let him get what he wants. If he has to earn it. If he earns it on the ground, then we better hit him, right? Legally, but we want them to have to earn it. I think if we make it tough on Lamar, which Joe Woods in this defense, in this bend don't break defense, forcing turnovers, I think we have our work cut out for us, but I think we could do it. I do think we can stop the Ravens, or kind of, you know, hold them intact. And I don't see why the Browns couldn't score just as many points as the Ravens. Offensively, the Browns just keep getting better and better. So I'm going to go with this. I'm going to go with my prediction being the Browns 27 and the Baltimore Ravens 24. The Browns win a close one, a fourth quarter game-winning drive. That's my guess. The only thing that will really blow it this week for the Browns is if we turn the ball over, which we haven't done pretty much at all in the last couple weeks. Baker hasn't had a turnover in 250 plus passes. Something crazy like that. Can't turn the ball over. Cannot let Lamar go stupid, and we have to keep those tight ends out of the game, right? When the tight ends are rolling with Lamar, that's when they're really at their most success. Play action, shots over the middle to the tight ends, deep shot to the tight ends. We have to keep them in check. So that's going to be Sendejo, Carl Joseph, you know, Mac Wilson. Those guys are going to really have to step up, because a key to success for the Ravens is definitely that Baltimore pass to the tight end. So yeah, I think the Browns could definitely win this game. I'm going to predict that they do win this game, especially after what I saw defensively. I thought the Browns were a much, much worse defensive team than they were numbers wise. And I did not know the Browns were top tier as far as stopping the run. That bodes well against the Ravens. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed the stats and the numbers that we dove into. If that's something you liked, please comment down in the comment section that, you know, we should do something like this again, or for every game, or maybe even other games around the NFL. But I have fun with this, man. I'm just trying to get better and better, and to just keep giving you guys Cleveland Browns content. If you like what you see, please hit that thumbs up button, subscribe, all those good things that help out. And if you want to see me live stream, I live stream every day, Monday through Sunday. Whether it's MLB The Show, Madden, we talk sports, we talk football. It's a good time. I'd appreciate it if you stopped by and said what's up. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and we'll have another one come out tomorrow. And as always, man, go Browns.